They are the national champs. We're talking LSU football here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. We got Alon Phillips Sullivan on the line from LSU Odyssey to break down the Tigers and not resting on their laurels. They're on the recruiting path, at least from a virtual standpoint, and getting the job done here in the last couple of weeks with 4 big commits. Alon, how you doing today?
We're doing fantastic up in there. How about you, Mark?
Doing great. Garrett Nussmeier is in the fold as a top-notch quarterback, and he's made his commitment to the Bayou Bengals.
Absolutely. This is a guy that Ensminger and Orgeron have been going for I think it's been 2 years now. It was way before way before Joe Brady ever came into the picture. We wanted Garrett Nussmeier. He was a project of ours, and it was a big day sealing that commitment. There was a lot of talk of whether it was going to be him or Caleb Williams who would choose us, and it seemed that Caleb Williams really favored Joe Brady and Jorge Munoz, who both took off, and so they felt that they're not going to wait around for Caleb Williams, the 5-star, to see whether he's going to make his commitment there or not. They're just going to forge ahead with Garrett because Steve Ensminger loves this kid. This kid shows a lot of Burrow-esque presence in the pocket. He's got a rocket. He's got a rocket for an arm. You just go look at his highlights. You can see him just slinging the ball around 80, 70 yards on a line. The kid is really something special. I don't know. I think he kind of takes a lot of boxes for us, and he's in that same mold as Joe or Myles. A pro-style quarterback who has that backyard-esque, pocket escapability.
Yeah, 7th-rated pro-style quarterback in the country, according to the 247 Sports Composite. 15th-rated player in Texas, of course, one of the top 3 college football-producing states in the country, out of Flower Mound, Texas. Flower Mound, Texas. All right. And top 100 player overall, regardless of position.
That's our 3rd player that we've snagged out of Texas's top 20 for 2021. I mean,
the last time we got together, Lon, we talked about Landon Jackson, and you were very hopeful, very optimistic, and that turned out to be the right thought process.
We got him. I felt like that was a home run. I felt like that was something that was going to be a slam dunk. And as to join him as well, we've got JoJo Earl, who is something. I think he is going to be something special. He's going to be our Percy Harvin. I mean, this guy is not just a receiver. You can put him in the backfield, and he's just making moves, and he's just making moves right in the hole. I mean, he's just a fantastic player. This guy has speed that is just. He reminds me of Keyshawn Butte, who we also have. He's another really, really lit freshman of ours. Really good 5-star receiver, and he's a local kid. But JoJo Earl, stealing him from Oklahoma, from Texas, from all of these other competitors is huge. I mean, we have just desecrated Texas lately. That has been almost like our second home state in recruiting. We've taken a lot of guys from Texas, from Georgia lately. It's been something special.
Yeah, these guys jump off the page if they're rated top 100 in the country, because just give that a thought, everybody out there. We've got 130 teams playing FBS football. We've got about 75 in the Power 5, and there are about 20 to 25 players signed in each class. So there will be over 3,000 football players signed in December and February, and if you grab one of the top 100, you're grabbing one of the top 2 to 3% in the nation. So Nussmeier, top 100 player, according to 247 Sports. And when I say top 100, I'm speaking in a range there. He's number 104, so he's in that range. Landon Jackson, 4th rated weak side defensive end in the country, number 18 out of Texas. And JoJo Earl, the 69th rated player in the country, according to 247 Sports, number 13 wide receiver and a top 10 player in the state of Texas. And you're also high on Xavier Carter as well.
Yes, we stole him as well. We got him. I think it was just this week as well. That's the 3rd commit we have in just 7 days. And Xavier Carter's good. I mean, this is another guy we got out of Georgia. He's from Arden Keys High School, Happaville Charter, and he's only 193. A lot of people will go, oh, well, defensive end, only 193. Well, here's the thing. Arden Key was only 205 around his senior year at Happaville Charter, and he didn't grow much until he came unto Tommy Moffitt's great strength and conditioning regimen. And Tommy Moffitt, this guy is a brilliant warrior here at LSU. He, for 2 decades, him and Shelly Molina have just been brilliant with our strength and conditioning. We've been able to take certain players who may be undersized in their positions and just absolutely metamorphosize them. I mean, they've just become different players when they come here, and it's very special. I think he's going to be another one. Xavier Carter, he could be as big as he wanted to be, as fast as he wanted to be. He is very special off the edge. And this guy coming inside on a stunt too, watch out.
So Atlanta has emerged in the last several seasons, several years, as being the largest producer of NFL talent of any metro area in the country. And here's another producer that we would expect to be playing on Sundays in the next 3-4 years. Xavier Carter, Hapeville Charter, Atlanta, Georgia, 15th rated outside linebacker, top 20 prospect out of Georgia, number 200 player nationally. And as Lon Philip Sullivan is letting us know right here at 193, don't let that alarm you. He gets into the weight and training program, and he is the players at the linebacking position and on the edges on the defensive front aren't as big as they were 10 or 15 years ago. It's just a different game. They've got to play in space. They've got to be able to go sideline to sideline. They're not plugging the run 70% of the time. They got to be stout against the run still, but they got to be able to move and pick up a tight end or a slot receiver at times. And then for a guy like this, obviously, like you say, shooting the gaps and getting after the quarterback in the backfield. Running backs and wide receiver for this team were prolific last season. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a really good running back prior to 2019. 2019, he just burst onto the national scene as one of the best players in the country. Tremendous pass receiver out of the backfield as well, as he added that to his game. Justin Jefferson, he takes off for the NFL, prolific as a 2-star at one point, which is hard to believe, and becomes arguably the best wide receiver in the country. They're both gone, but you got plenty of guys coming back at the skill position players. Yeah.
We got Jamar Chase, of course, who will, best receiver in the country, no doubt. Then we've got, I think it was Terrace Marshall, freshman. Yeah, a freshman. Who's that guy? I don't know. He caught 13 touchdowns last year as a freshman against Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Who else did he catch touchdowns against? Texas. He caught 3 against them. He caught touchdowns in 6 out of 7 of the top 10 matchups we had. He was only injured against, I think it was Florida, so he couldn't play in that game. But with 3 games missed because of a broken foot, this guy caught 13 touchdowns. I mean, are you kidding me? He caught that game sealer against Clemson, the one that Joe's pointing to his ring. And this guy, he's gonna be unbelievable this year. He's gonna be even better. Jamar Chase and him, they fuel each other just in the same way that Justin Jefferson and Jamar did last year and the other year before. I mean, Jamar coming into 2018, he was hurt, and then he came on in the middle of the season because him and Justin just started to finally be able to practice together. And the way these guys practice under Mickey Joseph, our receivers coach, who is just a testament to LSU greatness, Mickey Joseph. I love this guy. You got to watch videos of this guy doing practice. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. You're going to hear some MFers, stuff like that, but it is raw, pure football coaching, and it gets results. This guy could be a head coach anywhere else. I mean, and what's crazy, he played quarterback at college at Nebraska. So it's like, what, you have no business coaching all these first round receivers, do you? But he's unbelievable. Mickey Joseph is just a treasure chest here at LSU. I mean, what he's turned Jamar Chase into is something crazy. 20 touchdowns. Maybe he doesn't top that this year. Maybe we go to the running backs more. Maybe our offense evolves that way. Maybe we have, more checkdowns, more screen game. Maybe we just straight up run the ball down people's throat more. But if Jamar Chase can even get close to that, it's still going to be as effective. I mean, 21.2 yards per catch last year that's an atrocity. It's an atrocity against defense. I mean, defensive fans alike were just watching LSU and just shaking their heads saying, are they really this good? Is it really this unfair? And it was.
I'm going to make a prediction, Lon. You will not throw 60 touchdown passes this year.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a bit much.
Here's the thing, Mark. I never count a Tiger out. I never say Myles can't do this because, yes, Joe Burrow he's just a totem to greatness. He's the Michael Jordan of college football. But at the same time, I never count Myles out. It's the same situation. He's been waiting. He's been waiting his turn for, I think, 3.5, 4 years now. He had the job taken from him twice already. This guy, I think he's going to be an animal. Steve Ensminger said in the 3 practices they had this spring, before it was shut down, he said he saw more out of Myles in those 3 practices than he had in the 3 years previously. And Steve Ensminger hardly does interviews. He hardly says a word. I mean, you can't get this guy on tape, but he gave an interview a little bit ago where he said that. And it was just, it gave me chills because Ensminger does not lie. He is old fashioned. He would say Myles has a lot to work on and be kind of going after Myles. No. He was higher on Myles Brennan than Snoop Dogg on a Sunday morning.
Well, don't get me wrong, Lon. I'm not saying that Myles Brennan won't succeed.
Oh,
I'm just saying 60 touchdown passes is nearly impossible.
Of course, I totally understand that. And
he could throw 40, and you could still win another national championship.
Oh yeah, I've written that in my articles before. I totally feel that that's the way the offense actually must evolve. Defenses are going to be waiting for us to throw on first down this year. That's a complete rewrite of LSU history. I mean, it's shocking.
Got Lon Phillips Sullivan on the line from LSU Odyssey. So I'm going to be intrigued by the running back position because going into last season, I mentioned Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but he wasn't necessarily the guy. There was Emery and Curry and Fournette and Davis Prince. There were a number of guys vying for that position, and it looked like it was going to be running back by committee. And then, of course, Edwards-Helaire just took it over and had a prolific season. But minus him, we've got most of those guys back in play, and it should be interesting to see who wins the job or who gets the distribution of carries. Oh,
yeah. I mean, Tyrion Davis-Price, he had the most carries of anybody last year, and I think that has a lot to do, he had the most touchdowns as well due to that. I think that has a lot to do with John Emery. He only had vision out of one eye for I think 8 years of his life, 9 years of his life. So he's only been playing football with one eye. Okay. And he had LASIK surgery right after the national championship game. And so I think he's going to be unbelievable this year now that he actually has 2 eyes. I mean, last year, John Emery was fantastic when he got time. All of these running backs played a significantly brilliant role when they came in. And whether that was garbage time or not, I don't think people were watching enough film because these guys came in for big-time plays. Tyrion Davis-Price, he had the game-winning rush, the 37-yard just bruising gallop through Florida's #1 defense at the time. I chuckle. And that was the game winner, that moment. And that kind of redeemed him from his flag against Auburn a few weeks before where he had this brilliant catch out of the backfield, which highlights another one of his great attributes, Tyrion Davis-Price. He gets into it with an Auburn guy kind of taunting him and stuff. And of course, a flag is thrown, it erases the play. And 2019 LSU we weren't messing around. And he was sent to the bench for that. I think he played a few plays maybe later in that game, but I'm really not sure. I don't remember seeing him again after that moment. But he redeemed himself, and I think that shows a lot about his character as a freshman. I think as a sophomore coming in, he's going to be fantastic, Tyrion Davis-Price. He's got bruising calculation in between the lines. He will just delete you. I mean, he sees you in his way, he moves you, whether by force, whether by moves. The guy's got agility, he's got it all. I feel he's the most complete package of these three freshman running backs. John Emery Jr. is a close second because he's got that vision. And this was only from one eye. I'm not kidding. Like, the crazy guy. I mean, he's the Walter Payton Cyclops. I mean, this guy was absolutely, now that he's got two eyes, he's going to be brilliant. I feel like he's got this special vision. He's got this special speed. He's got this unreal cutting ability that, I mean, just see ya. It's sick. And Chris Curry, he's kind of got both this power rushing to him that you saw against Oklahoma. He really just punished Oklahoma and really freed Burrow up to just drop some dimes in that game on Oklahoma. And I don't know. I feel like all three of these running backs could be used equally, or you can see any of them, any of the three rise up and take that spot for themselves. I could see it. There's a variety of things that could happen here, and that's what's great about LSU is the competition always shows who's the best in the end, because they will be playing the most at LSU.
Now, Lon, before your LSU fan base jumps on me, I know your roster. I know the personnel. I watch the games. I know who Tyrion Davis-Price is. I mispronounced his name. I'm looking at Football Reference here. So this is my stats reference page, footballreference.com. It's a great resource, and they actually put the N in there, and they've got him listed as Davis Prince, and that's why that just shot out of my mouth, because I was looking at his stats and I said Davis Prince, but of course Tyrion Davis-Price, who ran for 6 touchdowns, 4.6 per carry last year.
Don't even worry about it, because those people don't do the type of research and legwork that. How thorough this type of stuff is, and how much you are probably researching other guys as well. Mistakes are going to happen, and I know I've mispronounced. I called I think it was Ika. I called him Ika, and so I was destroyed for calling Siaka Ika, and yeah. So it happens to the best of us.
There you go. Straight from Lon Philip Sullivan. Please join him on LSU Odyssey. What are you guys working on these days?
We just pushed out the LSU recruiting update, mostly covering all these guys in detail. But as I look here, we've got a recent interview with Clyde Edwards-Helaire's mother, Tanjay. We got her on record the week before the draft, and so it was very interesting to get her story of her son, his rise against all this doubt. Even from such a young age, this guy was just mercilessly doubted, and he just fought and fought and fought for his place. And just to see that moment where he's picked with the last pick of the draft, it was beautiful. I'm telling you, it was special. And then we got another one where we interviewed Linda Fehoko and Vili Fehoko, Braden Fehoko's parents. He was signed by the LA Chargers. See, I almost made a mistake there calling him San Diego Chargers. It happens. It's habit. But it's called Fehoko Dreams: The Unstoppable Legacy of Braden Fehoko at LSU. I feel like his legacy goes beyond football. It's about opening doors culturally here at LSU. We're a very diverse community, on campus and just all around Louisiana. But he opened a door that hadn't been opened before for the Polynesian community, and I think it was a really special story to be able to tell. And I'm so thankful and grateful to Linda and her family for allowing me and trusting me to tell that story.
Good stuff from Lon Philip Sullivan. Again, LSU Odyssey. Got to check it out right there, covering LSU football. Lon, we appreciate you stopping by, sir.
Hey, thank you, Mark. Be safe, everybody. Be safe, Mark. Have a good one.